Granas, for illustrating the stark reality of the water scarcity in Balochistan and also the role of women in terms of collecting water, how difficult it is on a daily basis, and linking that to not just academic water scarcity issues, but the fact that it then relates to real live women and how their lives are being affected and how they live on a daily basis, and bringing home that reality to us today, which we're aware of, but the way you brought it out, the way you talk about it, especially in the context of Balochistan, I think that is the stark reality. So thank you for that. Before we move on to more or to a discussion, I know we have questions in the chat. Can we take a few questions, please, to each of our panelists?
I have an opinion that Constitution of Pakistan allows the state responsibility to provide clean water to every human in the country. But I think the far-flung areas, the remote areas, the rural areas, I think that was not provided into Constitution. Because no state, no provincial government, no federal government bothers for the people in the rural area and remote area. Because their own departments have made the legislation that they can work only in up to those villages having population of 500 only. Below 500 people, it's not mandate of any government, neither provincial government nor federal government. It means that public, at least up to 60%, is out of Constitution of Pakistan. The states don't agree to Constitution of Pakistan. In the result, Sindh province has brackish water in underground and no irrigation water with them. What is the situation to those people, whether those are women or whether those are men? In the result, they are involved in so many illnesses. I see the kidney failures and like that, but even they have no hospital. So they only believe in this, that human has to die any day. So if they die on account of water, it is the death from God. But the state still is not responsible for that. So let us struggle that all those 60% people must be counted under Constitution of Pakistan. The state shall be made responsible to provide each and individual human in the Pakistan, to provide them clean water.
शुक्रिया गुरनाज हमें ज़मीनी हक़ाइक़ से आगाह करने के लिए। कोई सवालात हों तो ज़रूर करें। मेरा यह सवाल है कि पाकिस्तान के आइन में पानी की फरहमी को यकीनी बनाना शामिल है, मगर कोई भी देही इलाकों की बात नहीं करना चाहता, क्योंकि कानून साजी के दौरान ये बात की जाती है कि जिन देहातों की आबादी 500 या इससे ज़ायद है तो हम वहाँ ही काम करेंगे। 500 से कम लोग किसी भी हुकूमत के मैंडेट में शामिल नहीं होते। इसका मतलब यह हुआ कि तकरीबन 60% आबादी पाकिस्तान के आइन से बाहर है। ये ज़मीन में पानी होने के बावजूद इनको मुयस्सर नहीं है। औरतें, मर्द सब ही इससे मुतासर हैं। इसके नतीजे में वो बहुत सी बीमारियों का शिकार हैं और इनको कोई इलाज भी मुयस्सर नहीं है। इनका ये मानना है कि एक दिन तो मरना ही है, लिहाजा अगर पानी की कमी या इलाज ना होने से मर भी जाएं तो ये खुदा की तरफ से है। तो 60% लोग भी आइन का हिस्सा होने चाहिए। ये हुकूमत की जिम्मेदारी है। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
Thank you for your comments. Thank you very much. I'd like to ask Simi to respond to that.
What it's saying is absolutely right, that constitutionally and legally and in our various documents, the smaller population which are very scattered are not catered for. So that creates a real problem in terms of what Granaz was saying. And of course, Granaz, with the hard work that she does and the daily commute and all of that, she's equal to 10 of us really in terms of the power and the leadership. So what she was pointing out is, I think, being reflected by Mr. Chandio, that yes, that is an area that we as women need to focus, because men are much more concerned about productivities and the irrigated areas and the industry that happens in cities. But what about the small populations whose basic human right of drinking water and domestic water and water for livelihood is not being met, especially, as Granaz said, in the rain-fed areas that don't have irrigation and in the really water scarce areas. Chandiyu Saab also pointed out that we don't have enough legislation for groundwater, and that was also reflected by Granaz. So what do we do in areas that have groundwater and rainwater? You know, recently I've been working on it with a number of other friends that we need to go to pondage. We need to do pondage in the millions, and that is something which we can do. Granaz, you remember the last time we met, that was followed by a huge rain and floods, and they were like thousands of these ponds popped up overnight, and with a little bit of lining and some little very low scale engineering, we could save and store all that water for using in times, you know, where women have to walk long distances. So thank you, both of you.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you, Simi, and thank you, Chandiyu Saab, for bringing that up as well. Do we have any more questions, Sana or Faria? We don't? Okay. Then in that case, I think we can open up our discussion, which means we do have another 5 minutes. So we could just open up our discussion. I'd like to just talk about one thing which you mentioned, Seema, in terms of the stories that you said you want to collect, and directly link that with what Granaz said, where she's looking for someone to amplify the stories that she has and that she collects. So I think this is one place where you could share and we could bring in that information from Balochistan. So it's an opportunity.
I've just done a story which we've converted into a serial on Cholistan.
Oh, really?
And the plight of the women from that area.
Really? Okay.
And it's, they have spoken themselves, and they walked up to 40 miles to fetch a pot of water. There was a train which had started from Sakhar to Bhavalpur, which was carrying water. It goes twice a week. They have to reach the train station in order to collect that pot of water. So they are the stories from Balochistan. I would love for those to come to us, and between Simi and myself, we'll design a narrative, and we have writers who can do it.
Yes.
Granaz, so there's one outcome of this. Are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes. Yes,
so
I can hear you.
we commit that we will help you bring these stories out, whether they be in the form of a book or that in addition, and then, you know, with Seema's excellent storytelling, to put it out there on media, on mainstream media, so that people can know, and we can also advocate the results we want. We can advocate for women's leadership, we can advocate for pondage, we can advocate for water for livelihoods, women's roles in a climate changed world, all of those. So Granaz, thank you very much.
And economic empowerment.
Yes, that too. So that at least is one solid thing which has come out of this this webinar series.
चांडियो साहब, जैसे कि गुरनाज ने भी कहा और चांडियो साहब ने भी कि छोटी आबादी के लिए भी पानी और जिंदगी गुजारने के वसाइल की फरहमी को यकीनी बनाना लाजमी है। हमें क्या करना है कि बहुत बड़ी तादाद में तालाब बनाने हैं। गुरनाज, अगर आपको याद हो तो हमने कुछ साल पहले ये ही किया था कि बहुत बड़ी तादाद में तालाब बनाए थे जहां बारिशों का पानी जमा होता था, और फिर थोड़ी सी मेहनत और इंजीनियरिंग के जरिए पानी के मसाइल को हल करने की कोशिश की थी। शुक्रिया सीमी। कोई और सवाल हैं? नहीं, चलें फिर हम अपनी बात आगे बढ़ाते हैं। जैसा कि गुरनाज ने कहा कि इनके पास कुछ ऐसी कहानियां हैं जिसे वो नशर करना चाहती हैं। सीमा, मैं बताती चलूं कि कुछ अर्से कबल मैंने एक सीरियल बनाया था जिसमें चोलिस्तान की कहानी दिखाई थी, जहां औरतों को एक मटका पानी भरने के लिए 40-40 मील का सफर तय करना पड़ता था। एक ट्रेन सक्कर से भवलपुर जाती थी और पानी लेकर ये औरतें वहां रेलवे स्टेशन पर लाइन में खड़ी होती थीं ताकि अपना मटका भर कर ले जा सकें। तो अगर गुरनाज के पास भी ऐसी कोई कहानी मौजूद है तो मैं इस पर काम करना चाहूँगी। सीमी, गुरनाज, अगर आप सुन रही हैं तो आप ज़रूर अपनी कहानियाँ लेकर हमारे दफ्तर आएँ। हम ज़रूर इस पर ड्रामा बनाएंगे या फिर किसी किताब की सूरत में इसे शाया करेंगे।